Good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to the latest edition of Chopping It Up with Ramel. Yeah, this is season 3, episode 19. It's been a while since I talked with you last and spoke with you last, but you know what? Let's get right to it. This episode here is going to focus on the NBA. And let me get right to it. We're going to discuss the NBA AllStar Weekend. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I thought the NBA All-Star Festivities was a blast. I think that it was a major hit. Do I have some takeaways from it, which I would like to see a little bit different? Absolutely. And I'll start with the celebrity game. First of all, hopefully, there's got to be some better some celebrities out there that are either better in basketball, better in shape. I'm sure there's some celebs out there that you can get out there and get a little bit more polished game. You know, it's one thing to watch the celebrity game and have a couple of laughs and have some fun watching it. But at the same time, you want to see some guys that can, or some women, I should say, that can actually play the game and be slightly competitive. You know, because what we watched on Friday night in the celebrity game, it was just awful, man. Got awful. Good morning. It was awful out there, and and I'm looking at Little Rel, all his interviews leading up to the game. He talking about he gonna get 15 and 5. This guy didn't do anything out there. He didn't even make a shot. He fell a couple of times. I guess that's what it's about. But I guess for me, the competitive nature that I have, I would like to see something slightly competitive in the celebrity game. But nevertheless, it kicked off the All-Star Weekend. Followed after that was the Rising Stars Challenge, which was the U.S. against the world. Listen, I'm going to say something. I'm an advocate and a fan of yesterday's basketball. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. I like the hard-nosed defense. I like the hand-checking. I like the fouls. I want to bring the three-point line back. But with that said, the game has evolved to the point where we are now. But watching that Rising Stars game, NBA is in good hands. The NBA is in good hands. I saw some young talent out there that eventually they're going to be the future of the game, and at some point they'll be playing on Sundays as well. But there's some future stars out there. The Rising Stars game, they did not disappoint. I mean, when you think about who's out there, Ja Morant, Luka, Trae Young, Zion, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right there, that's a starting five for any team. And that's a problem. So the talent level is entering the league today, even though they're younger, but man, the potential of these guys and the way the game is played, the NBA is in good hands. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. They're in good hands. The range that these guys have on their shots these days is just bananas. I mean, when Luka shot that half-court shot at halftime, it almost looked like a free throw for him. It didn't seem like he had to put any oomph into it. It was just a phenomenal shot. And so once again, the NBA is in great hands. When I looked at that Rising Stars, and I'm going to tell you something, America, we better get our game on point because the world has caught up to America. I mean, even Canada has got 4 players in that Rising Star game. And look at it last year. Giannis was the MVP last season. All right. Luka was the Rookie of the Year. Siakam was the most improved player. The world is catching up to America in this game called basketball. If we're not careful, we might see the face of the NBA a non-American. Because Giannis, as I mentioned, he won MVP last year, and he's on route to winning the game. Make no mistakes about it. He's on route to win it again, and I don't know how you can do this, But Pascal Siakam could be en route to being most improved player 2 years in a row. I don't think that will happen, and it hasn't happened. But he's improved that much from last year to this year. You know, when you think about it, they have a better record this season than last season, and they had Kawhi. They're in second place behind the hot Milwaukee Bucks. And a lot of it is due to the improvement of Siakam's game. So this notion that Siakam is not improving and evolving, I kind of got a screw face on that one. Siakam right now, to me, is a top 10 MVP candidate. So to the Americans, especially on the AAU circuits and the college, yeah, these players from overseas are making an impact in our game, and it's continuing to grow. Even Canada, who's above us, now has multiple players in the NBA that are doing their job. I mean, you know, some people are down on Andrew Wiggins on the trade going to Golden State, thinking, why would Golden State trade for him? That's another Canadian-born player. But at the end of the day, Andrew Wiggins is a talent. And Andrew Wiggins in a Golden State uniform with future Hall of Famers and Steve Kerr, who has a lot of rings as a player, as a coach, could be just the fit for Andrew Wiggins, because this is a guy in his first 5.5 seasons has probably played for 4 head coaches and no real quality vets. And the one quality vet that came over there was Jimmy Butler, and for some reason or another, it didn't mesh well. Because I think that Jimmy Butler came in with passion to win, and I think in Andrew Wiggins' first 5.5 years, he didn't come to work to win. He came to work to work. He took it as a job. Let me come in here, punch the clock, get my check, and go. But when we see Wiggins now in a Golden State uniform, not this year, but at the start of next season, when he's lining up at the small forward next to Klay Thompson and Curry. Hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing, my car brother? It's going to be impressive out there. Because one thing that Golden State, and I know I'm getting off track here, but I got to touch on it. One thing that Golden State has not had in their 5-year run going to the championship, to the finals, they never had anybody as athletic as Andrew Wiggins. And that's something, and one thing about that team, whether it's Draymond, whether it's Klay, whether it's Curry, there's a bunch of willing passers on that team. And if he's ahead of the break, they're going to get him the ball. And we're going to see a different Andrew Wiggins. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. When I used to play ball in the neighborhood, it's one thing to be out there, you and a couple of friends shooting around. But when you're playing in front of a packed house and you got this group over there watching you, the older guys is watching you, some of the young girls is watching you, man, you put on your Hall of Fame jersey. You put on your All-Star jersey. You bring your A game out. Andrew Wiggins is going to bring his A game out when he gets out there and it's standing room only out in San Francisco to watch the Golden State Warriors come 2021 season when they're healthy and they're back as a top 3 team in the West. Because that's where Golden State's going to be next season. They're going to be a top 3 team out West next season. All these players that's playing and starting right now, they're going to make one heck of a bench for Golden State. They're going to make one heck of a bench for Golden State next year. Watch what I tell you. Golden State will be back and back with a vengeance come next season, especially if health permits it. But with the All-Star game, the rising stars, as I said, the world, they're catching up. Luka Doncic, the Don, he's making his mark. He's a top 5 MVP candidate. Giannis is going to be Giannis, and it's going to take for players like Zion and Ja Morant to keep the face of basketball in the States. I think Zion has that chance to have that face as long as health is permitted. Because what I've seen in limited action of Zion's going to be a problem. Zion is going to be a problem. What I've seen in limited action of Zion this season, he's going to be a problem. His first step off the ground is bananas. This is a guy, Zion is Charles Barkley meets Sean Kemp. That's who he is. He's got the weight and the size of Charles Barkley and the skill sets of Charles Barkley. But he has the athleticism and explosiveness of Sean Kemp. Zion has a chance to be the face of the NBA. Give him 3 years. But right now, if we're not careful, Giannis is taking that over right now. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. He's on verge of being back-to-back MVPs. I don't see any way he doesn't win the MVP award this season. They'll probably have the best record in the league. I don't think that'll be in jeopardy or challenged. His numbers are bananas. So I believe he will be. Moving right along. So now the skills challenge. I think the skills challenge is fun and is exciting. And it's a good entry to the three-point contest. But I think it's time now to add something to the skills challenge. I think they have to make the skills challenge a little bit more challenging. To me, it's a little bit easy. There's something else that they have to do to spice that up a little bit. I mean, anytime you got big men winning it, that something ain't right. That should be a guard's game. But it's time to add something to that. But at the end of the day, it's fun to watch. It's pretty exciting. It's a little competition. Guys are competing. So that's good. The three-point contest, outstanding. No complaints from me. I like the extra shot for 3 points. That was a nice touch. I think for some, it might have threw their rhythm off a little bit. Eventually, they'll get used to it. They may practice it in the gyms or whatever the case is. The only thing about those shots, believe it or not, those are walk-up threes in the regular games. It's not one where they just stand there and shoot like a free throw. So I thought it was going to be a little difficult. But, yeah, they were dropping them. I mean, there were a few that missed, but there were a few that was making both. But it was interesting. Great competition between Booker, Devin Booker, and Buddy Hield. You know, Buddy Hield, to me, he's going to have to give from out of Sacramento. He really is. He's going to have to. He's going to need to go to a big money market so that people can really recognize him. I don't think Sacramento is going to be enough or have enough to crack the playoffs, and we see them in April. Buddy Hield, to me, is this generation's Mitch Richmond. Man, the guy's just a player. And eventually he'll put some weight on and get stronger. This guy's a shooter. He's 25 points a game waiting to happen. I like Buddy Hield. His jump shot is bananas. He's a shooter. He's a scorer. He reminds me a lot of Mitch Richmond. He just, Bradley Beal reminds me of Mitch Richmond more so, but he's probably got a little Bradley Beal in him. So I would like to see him in a bigger market. And then that leads me to the slam dunk contest. I'm going to tell you something. I've been watching NBA All-Star Festivities a long time. I was one of those guys that back in '88, when Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson, I was watching the slam dunk contest that night. I wasn't in the room watching the fight. Not how far I go back, but that's how much I enjoyed NBA and the NBA All-Star Festivities. This had to be the most exciting dunk contest I've ever seen. Did Gordon get robbed? I'll put it this way. Had they given it to Gordon, had they given it to Wilson, Derrick Jones Jr., I'm sorry. Had they given it to Derrick Jones Jr., we wouldn't have been, if they had given it to Gordon, we wouldn't have been saying Jones Jr. was robbed. Let's put it that way. So, yes, I think Gordon was robbed. Anytime you jump over a 7'5" taco, falls, and don't fall, that's game winner. Game over. I thought he was robbed. I like the idea of what I saw. It was a great contest. Derrick Jones Jr. can jump through the gym. But I'm going to tell you something. I like Chad Boswick. I think he's a great actor. He's played James Brown. He's played Thurgood Marshall. He's played Jackie Robinson. If they did a biography on me, he'd probably play me. But he don't need to play a dunk contest judge. We need some basketball players over there, former players over there that knows something about dunking. That knows something about dunking. So I just didn't like that idea of it. Give me a second, please. Pardon for the delay. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Very important call. Wifey, I had to take the call. But if Aaron Gordon had won that contest or was given to, nobody we talking about Derrick Jones was robbed. So I'm going to say Gordon was robbed. This is the second time he got robbed. He's probably going to be a little bit uneasy about coming back for a third time. But kudos to him. He wowed us again. And Derrick Jones did wow us. Airplane mode is for real. He's for real. I mean, these guys, their creativity was pretty strong and good. So I'm going to go on record and say this was probably the most exciting dunk contest for me. All right, moving along, the AllStar Game. I didn't know how the format was going to work out. I did not. I really didn't understand it. But as the game was going along, I understood it more so. And in fact, I didn't take the time out to try to understand it, right? So what I saw was, okay, so the first three quarters, whoever won a quarter, $100,000 was given to the charity of their choice. Okay, understand. Got it now. All right, but the points will still be accumulative. And then after the end of the third quarter, in honor of Kobe Bryant, whoever has the most points, you add 24 to that total, and that's what you got to shoot for to win the game. So 157 was the win. Now, I would have liked them to have did 24 plus 8 and made it 32. And the reason why, because when we was kids growing up, 32 was what we played to. Okay? Sometime during the third quarter, I was like, this game is, kind of losing me a little bit, whatever the case was. But when that fourth quarter kicked in, I got to tell you, that fourth quarter was exciting. The fourth quarter in the AllStar Game was very, very, very exciting. These guys was playing hard. I mean, you had Lowry out there taking charge. That was a charge on LeBron. They did not call it. You had typical Harden. He was choking. He didn't want to shoot. You had typical LeBron. You had Kemba Walker up at the free throw line. He should have took him. He didn't want the shot. Kind of reminiscent of Game 1 against Golden State in the finals when he dumped it off to George Hill. And then J.R. Smith gets the blame for getting the rebound and running out. Or whatever the case was. We all know how that went down. Same play. Should have took Kimba. No, he going to pass it off to Anthony Davis. LeBron wanted no parts of that last shot. He wanted no parts of that last shot. He didn't want to be on the free throw line trying to sink one out of two. Yeah, that's just typical LeBron. But yeah, many people going to say he made the right play. Anthony Davis was on Kyle Lowry. Yeah, he threw it down at him. Kyle Lowry brings him down. He goes to the free throw line. He makes one or two. They win. But I tell you what an exciting game. Some people are questioning why Kawhi was MVP. Guy had made 8 3-pointers. He has 30 points, team high. Maybe you could have gave it to Chris Paul. Just because of the lob dunk alone. That was the biggest highlight of the game for me. I've been watching basketball for years. I've been having League Pass for years because of this team right here. I left New York back in 2002 in December, and I had to follow the Knicks wherever I go. So because of this team, I've had League Pass. But along with League Pass, you get to see everybody else's teams. And I've been watching Chris Paul just as long as anybody else. I can't recall a time I've seen Chris Paul dunk the ball. I'll wait. Do any of you know when Chris Paul has dunked the ball? I've never seen Chris Paul dunk the ball. Yet alone take a lob. Take a lob. So with that said, great finish to the AllStar Game and even better finish to the AllStar Weekend. I really enjoyed the AllStar festivities, and I just looking forward to next year, and hopefully in that dunk contest, maybe we can get 6 contestants, maybe 8, get Zion out there, John Moran, and maybe some others, get Derrick Jones Jr. to go out there and defend his title, and we go from there. The NBA didn't want co-champions. They had to have a winner. I could have watched more. It was exciting. It really was. But we're going to move right along, and we're going to touch on the buyout market and the unsigned players. The Clippers continue to dominate the headlines on and off the court. They just recently got a verbal commitment from Reggie Jackson, who was bought out by the Detroit Pistons, to come play for them. Listen, I grew up in New York. And I can remember the days of George Steinbrenner signing players so that his enemies wouldn't sign him or other teams wouldn't sign him. What the Clippers is doing right now, is making sure that LA does not improve their team. Oh, you guys want Marcus Morris? We do too. We're going to give a first-round pick. Oh, your first-round pick's in New Orleans. All right, no problem. Oh, Reggie Jackson? We're going to talk to Reggie Jackson. Oh, you always wanted to play with Paul George? Well, Paul George is on the squad. Come on over. Listen, there's injuries on the Clippers team. All this is going to do is just prepare the Clippers for a finals run. It doesn't mean just because they added Morris, they add Reggie Jackson, they run away with it. But it does increase their odds to win the finals. And in the beginning of the season, I had the Lakers playing Philly in the finals, Philly winning it all. That has changed. I got the Clippers playing Toronto, and the Clippers win it all. That's right, I have Toronto going back to the finals. Looks like we got a caller. Chopping it up with Ramel, who's on the air.
Hey, you know what it is, see? It's all about his Cowboys for life. What's up, family?
Cowboys for life. We're talking NBA, and he has to mention the Cowboys. How you doing, Sean? What's going on?
I mean, because I'm like you. I like to stir the pot every now and then. You know what I'm saying? It needs more meat and vegetables in it.
I understand. Yeah, so I was just talking about the Clippers picking up Reggie Jackson, I think that's a great move. That's a move not only to improve their team, but a move to prevent the Lakers from getting a player. So I'm not sure what was on your mind, but go ahead, speak on your mind.
Well, long as ain't the old school Reggie Jackson that used to hit the home run. This version of Reggie Jackson, I'm not really concerned about. Now, when it comes down to the Lakers and the Clippers, they're the cream of the crop of the West. And you know I'm a Laker for life. Been a Laker for quite a long time. The Clippers right now, they the boss right now in the Los Angeles right now. Now when we get in the playoffs, obviously the playoffs are a totally different thing. And so palms and hands start getting a little bit more sweaty. When the stakes get a little bit more higher. I definitely think the Western Conference Finals is going to be the Lakers and Clippers. Kawhi's a problem. I mean, he's a problem. Then you throw now Paul George. I think Paul George is going to wind up not really cashing in for him, and he's one of the. To me, Paul George is the top 12. I don't know if you agree. He's a super talented guy.
Oh yeah, he's top 10.
He's top 10 guy. I mean, but I think I learned something from you back in the day that obviously, man, you get some super knowledge when it comes down to. I think you told me this is your terminology. The best availability is to be available. I mean, if I got it twisted, in other words, if you're on the sidelines with that 12 shirt and towel, I mean, you ain't doing me no good on the sidelines here. Maybe Paul George, he's been kind of injury prone lately, man. He's on the sidelines more than he's on the hardwood.
Yeah,
so,
I agree with you, and you know what? That's what makes the Morris trade valuable. That's what makes the Reggie Jackson signing valuable, is that, the Clippers have been playing this season to play in June. And they haven't been playing this season to play during the season. Their whole thing is, let's get through the season, let's get to June, and let's be healthy. So now when you got these knick-knack injuries that Pat Beverly has, I think he's got a groin injury. Paul George has a hamstring injury. Now that you have some depth on the team with Reggie Jackson and Marcus Morris, now that these guys are not playing, this allows you to keep afloat and keep winning and keep doing what you're doing. So I think what the Clippers are doing is very smart. Not only they're blocking the Lakers, but they're also putting themselves in a position where they got depth and they can rest people so that they can be healthy.
Well, the word on the street, man, is Paul George. He rides into the game with the team trainer. They ride in the game together now. I mean,
yeah.
He works on Paul George as they drafting. I mean, because he's been, man. I hate to say it seems like his body is breaking down, man. I mean, he's a super talented player. You take him out of the equation, and it's a great point about your boy kind of taking filling in Morris. That's a great point that you brought up, man. He's not Paul George, but he is a very solid player. That Morris guy is, man. But for the Lakers, I think I'm gonna throw a name at you. An old school cat that's had a hell of a year in the purple and gold so far as a role player. I think Dwight Howard's he's gonna be huge against the Clippers because of his size, his length, and his athleticism. One thing about Dwight Howard, I don't know how old he is. I think he's only mid to late 30s. Am I correct? He's in tremendous shape. He almost looks like Dante Wilder a little bit. I don't want to punch nobody out in the face, man, but he's a hell of a player around that rim, man. He's a rim protector. He's one hell of a rebounder. And he's still a shot blocker, too. And when he gets around the rim, normally he's trying to dunk it. He's going to be big for the Clippers, man, in the playoffs. For the Lakers, I'm sorry. I'm going to get the Clippers.
Well, hey, Sean, that's a good point. Actually, it's a great point. And, a lot of the things that you said about Dwight Howard, I echo him as well. The only thing with Dwight Howard, and Sean, I appreciate the call, and we'll talk soon.
No doubt, man.
Peace and blessing. Yeah, so that was Sean. But when it comes down to Dwight Howard, the problem with Dwight Howard, and maybe he's not being maximized to his full potential, and maybe that's a good thing because you don't want him to do too much and get his head big, but he's normally in the game when LeBron is not in the game. And Dwight Howard is not a guy that can create his own shot. He has to rely on getting the ball. And that's when the Lakers struggle a lot, when LeBron goes to the bench. And really, Rondo has been up and down as that playmaker of the second unit. So that's why I thought a Reggie Jackson would have been a good pickup for the Lakers, although he chose the Clippers, because he's a starting point guard. Not only can he get his own shot, but he can make things happen for others. You know, he downplayed the acquisition of Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson is a solid ball player. This is a guy that's capable of averaging 20 and 6 at the point guard position. So I think that would have been a great pickup for the Lakers if they would have been able to, because, again, what the Lakers need, it's not that they need depth or anything like that. They need another playmaker. I thought the Lakers was going to trade for Derrick Rose. I thought the Lakers in the beginning of the season should have went after Jamal Crawford and had him coming off the bench in a Lou Williams type role. But I'm not sure what all the Lakers is doing, and now I'm beginning to wonder if players really want to play with LeBron. You know, again, Davis didn't walk to LeBron. They had to trade for LeBron. And everybody that's around Davis and LeBron, either players that was there last year, Caldwell Pope, Caruso, McGee, or players that are older and mostly on one-year contracts. So it's not like some of these young players, well, the young players don't have the opportunity, but it's not like a lot of these quality veterans want to come play there. Paul George didn't go there. He rather re-up in OKC. Kawhi didn't go there. Kevin Durant said it was toxic. So I'm beginning to really question, do individual wants to go and play with LeBron? And that's what I see now. I don't think people want to play with LeBron. But we'll find out. Now, do the Lakers have enough to still go to the finals and win it all? Yeah, I think so. But I think the Clippers are going to derail them. Because I always say this. In order to beat a LeBron James team, you have to have defenders that can make it tough for him. Because remember, teams are built around LeBron. So if LeBron is struggling or he's challenged, it's going to make it difficult for somebody else to step up. Because the team is built around him. And when healthy, the Clippers can throw Patrick Beverley, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Morris on him. And you get a dose of that for 4, 5, 6 games, 7 games. That can wear somebody down. So I'm really liking what the Clippers is doing. Yeah, some people, how much talent does Kawhi need? It's not about Kawhi. Kawhi don't say nothing. Yeah, he just wanted somebody there. Now he got Paul George there. But this is Jerry West and Doc seizing the moment, seizing the opportunity to win this. That's what they're doing. They created a culture where people are putting their hands up to come there. Ain't got nothing to do with Kawhi. Kawhi showed that he's the best player in the game. He won MVP among all the stars. And he finals MVP last season. And he's having an MVP-like season, but I wouldn't put him in the MVP conversation because of his lack of games. You know, he misses 4 games a month. So I wouldn't put him there. I think you need to show up to be qualified. But it doesn't mean he's not playing like an MVP. So of the available players that are left that I think to watch out that could be difference makers, I think at some point, especially with the coach stepping down in Cleveland, I think Tristan Thompson is a buyout casualty. That's not a Laker spot for him. One thing we can rest assured, Tristan Thompson will not join the Clippers. Will not join the Clippers, and the reason for that is because His agent is Rich Paul. There's no way Rich Paul will let Tristan Thompson go to the Clippers. Tristan Thompson could be a difference maker. I like him in one or two spots. I like him in Miami, but I really like him in Boston. If he makes his way to Miami or Boston, woo, that could be a difference maker, and it could be very challenging for Milwaukee and Toronto. But yeah, Tristan Thompson is a guy to watch out. Then you got some guys that are playing overseas, especially in China. Keep an eye on Lance Stevenson. And keep an eye on Kenneth Faried. I think Kenneth Faried will make his way back to Houston. Fortunately, Laker fans, I think Lance Stevenson may be making his way back to the Lakers. They worked out J.R. Smith. No word on that. I think they might be saving a spot for Lance Stevenson. One thing about Lance Stevenson, he gives you that guitar move, but he is a little bit of a playmaker. He can play point guard. He can make things happen. He pushes the ball. He might be the best available player left on this unsigned market or buyout market that might work for the Lakers. Kyrie's injury. That's a huge concern for Brooklyn. You know, as a Knicks fan, it was my dream to see Zion, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving at the Garden. None of that happened. Let's move on. But I do think we dodged a bullet by not signing Kyrie and Kevin Durant. If it was available right now, I still put my hands up for it. But Kyrie's season has been marred by injuries. Has not been a typical Kyrie season. And I tell you what, if he shuts it down for the rest of the year, that might be the best thing that happens to Brooklyn going forward. Not that they're a better team without Kyrie. No, they're not. They're not a better team without Kyrie. But they're a better team without Kyrie if Kyrie is in and out of the lineup. That's the difference. Brooklyn can't catch a rhythm if Kyrie is in and out of the lineup. Play 6 games, miss 5 games, play 8 games, miss 3 games. They can't get their rhythm that way. So if he is not going to be there the rest of the way, I think Brooklyn is good enough as a symbol to maintain their playoff status without Kyrie. And that may be the best thing that happens to Brooklyn. Moving right along. The playoffs. Is there a team out there that's not in the playoffs as we speak, as we start the second half, that you say keep an eye on? Out east, there's only one team that I think can challenge Orlando or maybe Brooklyn for that 7th, 8th spot, whatever, and that's Washington. Bradley Beal has been playing some Super Bowl lately. He's just been superb. Bradley Beal has been superb. All-Star snub, should have been selected, but he's been playing outstanding basketball. Washington may be getting John Wall back sometime soon. I'll keep an eye on that, but they're playing decent ball. They're only 3 games out of the East. There's a possibility that they can get into that 8th spot or either catch the Brooklyn Nets, depending on how the injury of Kyrie affects them. But yeah, I think Washington has a shot out east. In the West, I'm hoping Ja Morant and company can hold on to that 8th spot. I am a Melo fan. I would love to see Portland get up there. I think Melo is a great story. Comeback player of the year. But I want y'all to keep an eye on the Pelicans. The Pelicans are 5.5 games behind Memphis. In their last 10 games, I believe they're 6-4. Zion is getting his groove back. This little break right here might have helped him out, let him catch his win. It's going to be interesting. And I'm going to tell you something. It would be a pleasure to watch a 1-8 matchup between the Lakers and Memphis, but it would be more delightful to see the Lakers and the Pelicans. It is so much there. You're looking at possibly the future of the NBA and Zion. Similar awareness and a path, such as LeBron. Then you have the trade that took place, AD facing his former team. And then you got all the baby Lakers that are coming of age right now. Brandon Ingram, an all-star for the first time. Lonzo Ball looks like he's found his stride, his groove. He's got a little pep in his step. His shot looks a lot better. He's playing ball. He's loving where he's at. And Josh Hart. You know, stars can go anywhere and play. But not every player can go somewhere and play. But Josh Hart can go anywhere and play. The guy is just a fundamental specialist that only knows how to play the game one way, and that is smart. He plays the game smart. And I respect what he has done. He's a big part of that Pelicans' success. You know, we talk about the Lou Williams and the Montrezl Harrell, but Josh Hart is a top 10 six-man candidate. I mean, he's really performing well over there for New Orleans. He's been a mainstay for them. So I would love to see New Orleans, who's 5.5 behind Memphis, climb up there and get that 8th spot, because I think, you know, the NBA is promoted by stars. They're promoted by stars. I had a good friend call me up, Skip. He asked me, is it too late for Zion to win Rookie of the Year? I personally believe it is. I personally believe it's too late for him to win Rookie of the Year. But the NBA, they let their stars be ahead of the game. If it was possible for Adam Silver, because I think he had something to do with Zion going to the Pelicans, because they had the 8th best chance and they get the number 1 pick, knowing that they was going to lose Davis. If it's up to Silvers, as much as we all love John Morant and he should be Rookie of the Year, he would love to see a 1-8 matchup. That would be the best first-round matchup in a very long time. Whether it's a 4-game sweep or it goes 7 games, he would love to see that. And oh, by the way, if they get to the 8th spot, Zion's Rookie of the Year. Yeah, Zion's Rookie of the Year if they get to the 8th spot. But anyway, with that said, I'm going to close on that note. Listen, I thank for everybody tuning in. Sean calling. Peace and blessings to everyone. This is Chopping It Up with Ramel. See you soon. Peace.